Hello everybody, welcome to Trackilicious. Happy Wednesday. That means it's time for some multi-class action. Today we've got round 4. We're going to be at the halfway round today of the multi-class championship. Hello everybody in the chat, hope you're doing well. Cheers for the hydrate, Mr. Beachley. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm Kujaterikov, Tyler Morgan joining very shortly here for the qualifying session. Oh no, you're in danger. Well, it's Zolder. The curbs are pretty bouncy here, so we'll just have to wait and see exactly how that goes. And yes, round 4 will be at Zolder, the short but sweet track, 2.5 miles, 11 corners in the Belgian countryside. You can see the windmills turning in the background there, and we will head down to the track itself for the start of the GT4 qualifying session. Race winner from last week, Justin Beachley, getting his warm-up lap underway. And cheers, Neil, for yet another hydrate. I need it all the time. I'm always thirsty, and I can always use a sip of delicious beverage. But yes, Justin Beachley, winner from last week, battling with the 204 of Ilpo Ruotsalainen around Indianapolis. Was able to take the top step of the podium away from the man in front, starting his first flying lap, Ilpo Ruotsalainen in the 204 Camaro. The creme de la course getting into turn 1, qualifying in the dark here, 1 in the morning. Brights are fully engaged on the cars. Try and see where you're going. Some good lights provide some good illumination all throughout the track. This has hosted the 24-hour race in the past in real life, as well as some F1 events and Euro NASCAR. And now it is host to round number 4 of the Trackilicious Wednesday Multi-Class Championship. Very heavy over the chicane at turn 5, but still keeping it under control is Ilpo Ruotsalainen. Taking a lot of curb on the first part and losing the car a little bit on the rear as he bounces through this middle part of the 3-part chicane there before he rises up the little hill to the left and into a heavy braking zone for a tight right-hand corner for Ruotsalainen. Puts it on the power. Tiny little chicane here before the approach to the final corner. We'll see what sort of time Ilpo can do. The GT4s do not have tire blankets, so the tires come out ice cold, so it may take a few laps for us to see some representative lap times, but nonetheless, the 204 coming to the line should be on a valid lap here. It's a 1:36.835. What can the drivers behind manage to do? Justin Beachley gets ahead of Ilpo by about half a second, a 36.277, and then Brian DeSantiago gets up to 3rd. Morico gets a time on the board in 4th. Diego Mostachero goes to 4th place ahead of Morico there, and now Andres to the line. Morico Yatanashi will split the 2 Mostacheros as the 105 BMW goes to 6th. Rally Dutchy on the board in the 621 Ginetta as well. As we wait for some more drivers to cross the line here, Josh Ransom, where will he go in the Ginetta? He'll go 7th ahead of Andres Mostachero. Dr. Porkchop in the Alpine slid himself up into 6th place there. And that is the first round of laps completed. We will wait for the second go around as we wait to see if there are any improvements on the board here. Ilpo unfortunately invalidating his lap, and Rally Dutchy doing the same there at the chicane. Just up the road here. My goodness, what's happening there? Justin Beachley looking for an improvement, even though he's already on the top spot. It doesn't look like he was able to get the jump he wanted to on this go around, but he has about 5 minutes left in their session to go around once more. Looks like we lost a number of the field there. Hopefully all is well still for those out on track.
What do you mean by we lost people? How many GT4s did we have?
Well, Brian DeSantiago and Yatanashi were on the board. Yatanashi just now returning, but still no sign of Brian DeSantiago. Josh Ransom coming to the line. Looks like just getting out of the way of the Porsche there. So no improvements from the Ginetta. But there were a handful more cars for sure. Welcome, Tyler.
Hello. You know what I blame? I blame the Auroras. That's why it's screwing with everybody's internet.
It's gotta be.
Also, honestly, that isn't out of the realm of possibility when it comes to that type of like weather and stuff like that. Yeah, sorry folks, I was busy outside hunting the Auroras. I didn't get to see them last night, and they were probably one of the more better ones we've had in a while, so I didn't get to see them last night because clouds are a thing. And honestly, these conditions the drivers are driving in at the current moment would be perfect conditions to go view some northern lights. But we have Ilpo seeing if he can light up the timing charts and see if he can get ahead of Beachley. Nope. He gains a little bit of time, but just not enough.
Not enough time, and I think that's going to be that it for his session, unfortunately, because he's back to the pits, and with 3 minutes on the clock, well, he's going to go around and try again.
It's not his tires aren't going to be in the optimum window. Unless he's got like a superheated strategy to warm up his tires, they're not going to be in the window. Ransom finally on the board. Oh my goodness. Andreas finds himself up now in P2.
That was a huge improvement from the 105. And Justin Beachley did set his fastest lap on his first lap attempt while the tires were technically ice cold still, and hasn't been able to find an improvement on that 36.277. So maybe, just maybe, the first lap is the crucial one to get around here.
The first lap is the best lap, I guess. Seems kind of crazy that that's kind of how it's seemingly working out. So is it a night qualifying and then a day race?
Yes, the race will be in the morning at 7 in the morning.
Oh, so someone's getting the sun in the eyes, most likely.
I think it should be a little bit past that. But we'll just have to wait and see exactly what happens there.
It's not like where you're just blinded in the one corner.
No, not quite the land of the rising sun, this one. But yeah.
Santiago's back in the server at least.
Yes, the field is back in mostly full capacity, it looks like. And
so
now
I think this is the third time I've seen Santiago racing in a GT4, and I don't think he's going to improve his time just based off of his exit there.
Well, he was also on an outlap because he just returned from disconnecting. So this should be his first push lap. And we'll see if he can get a better time on the board than he already has. Diego Mostachero behind him in the standings by about 0.8 of a second. Does not find an improvement on his previous lap attempt. This will be his last flying lap attempt with just 1 minute left in the GT4 qualifying session.
Ransom crossed the line, so this is going to be his final attempt. Pork Chop, Quan, Saracola, and Dutchy are done, so they can't improve because pit's low. Ah, Mirko, nice to see them. I don't like that. I don't like that line. Maybe they aren't going to find much to get into P5, but can they find anything? No, but they can go again. They
can indeed go again. It looked like that was an outlap based on it being a 201.
Yeah.
So
18 of Beachley. Beachley can go again if he has the fuel. Or is this an outlap from Beachley? No, that was an actual lap. He can go again, though.
So he just might be running a little bit heavy on fuel now that he burned it all off. Might just be able to squeeze in a flying lap at the last minute here. Checkered flag for the GT4, so that is the session done for Andres Mostachero in the 105. Second will be the highest he can finish, unless Ilpo has a response, and he does not. He's back in the pits. Brian DeSantiago back in the pits. Diego Mostachero looking for a response, and he does get one. He improves his time, but not enough to get ahead of DeSantiago. So he will stay in 5th place for the time being.
Unless Mirko can pull an absolute lap out of their butt, I think Beachley has all but secured. Yeah, let's say it's just Mirko and Beachley and the rest of the GT3 field coming out. So unless Yatanashi's got the best lap I've seen in a GT4, I don't think,
Yeah, can't improve on their own time either there. Just that first outlap just does not seem to be the one, and Beachley returns to the pits. And so that's the GT4 field set. And now back to the GT3s. Unfortunately, Hezzy Thomas not being able to qualify. He is on some big brother duty at the moment, but he will certainly be back for the race. Neil Kerbel starting his first push lap.
My teammate on Tuesdays. I'm still mad at him for Monday. I reviewed the stream. I don't want to get Trackilicious in trouble, so I'm gonna keep my mouth. I'm gonna keep my mouth very, very quiet.
Oh, Neil did great.
Oh, Tyler. This just in. Tyler says clouds are it. Okay, you Neil. I hope you spin out on this lap. Yatanashi said I got a 36.6 when I disconnected. Where would a 36.6 put them?
Right around Brian DeSantiago.
Yeah, before. That's tough. That is tough.
Well, it's good to know that you got the pace to be up there. So just got to put it together for the 50-minute race. And hopefully get some good positions there. Yeah, Dr. Porkchop, it looked like there was a good amount of disconnects. I saw Brian DeSantiago disconnect because I tried to tune in with him on the cameras, but it just kept going to somebody in the pits. I think it was Mach Speed in the Nissan. But yeah, I was trying to tune to Brian, but then he disconnected, and then I noticed, yeah, like a handful of drivers were missing from the field. So Neil Kerbel gets across the line on the board in a 28.202. What will be the response from the drivers behind? Two-race winner Sarah Liu in the sister car, the 310 Lexus, gets on the board about 300ths behind the time set by Neil Kerbel.
Is it just a battle of the Lexuses at this point? And Yatanashi was on the safe preset, not her actual setup. So, yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Professor Chronotis caused a massive lap 1 incident on Tuesday. Let's see what he can do as redemption. We raced at Fulton Park in GT3s on last night. You can guess what happens when you cause an accident in the hairpin on lap 1. At night. You can probably take a guess as to what happens there. That might be an invalidation. No, he was way deep there.
Yep, it was.
Okay.
But yeah, he gets on the board, and he's on the second row, up in third, alongside Joe Allenson, behind the all-Lexus front row as it stands. Devin Anthony in the lone GT3 Porsche on the grid. Has Sarah Liu behind for company. That will certainly not be pleasant to have in your mirrors as you're trying to get your flying lap set. But where will Devin Anthony go? Currently sitting in 8th place. Needs about 0.2, or excuse me, less than that. Needs half a tenth to get past Jim Reynolds. Does he have that in him? He's got way more than that in him. He goes into the top 5 ahead of Henriksen in the 543 BMW.
I like what Sarah did there. Sarah slowed down, made some space, so that way she could get a very good lap in, and also it didn't interfere with either driver. That's very smart. Very smart by the two-time winner.
Indeed. Jim Reynolds couldn't answer the time of Devin Anthony, so he's now behind the Porsche, up in 6th. Zerline improves past Mach Speed up into the top 10.
That is traditional Ferrari colors, it looks like. Mach Speed. I seriously want to know how long I can hold that for, based on how...
I think you missed one.
I think you know what? I think I did. I think you're right. I'm gonna have to apologize to Mach Speed for missing one E.
Yeah, here, I'll let you handle the GT3 field so you can get the right number of E's in there.
Mach Speed. You gotta really put some emphasis in that E somewhere in there.
Oh, 100%.
P11. What about Sarah? Oh, she's in a Denso Storm Chaser. I wonder, I understand what Storm Chasers are here, at least in Western America. Taking the provisional pole time away from my teammate Neil Kerbel by 1/10. And a few chunk of change. What about Henriksen in his BMW built from Norway? Takes best of the rest. That is currently P3 away from Professor Chronotis. So good to see him. That might be an invalidation. His tires were a little bit on the red curve, but he went a little deep.
All valid on the board here from the BMW. He's 3 minutes left in the qualifying session. Time to get those laps in now, right when it counts. Neil Kerbel and Sarah Liu having a good battle between the two Lexus drivers at the top. Sarah Liu back in the pits.
Where is Kerbel?
These cameras love to not keep up with the cars. Well, that was... Yeah, so that was turn 9. We got a good look at there. Oh, and Mach Speed on the entry curb. Blocking perhaps the path of Neil Kerbel, but fortunately for him, still has time for 2 laps if he's got the fuel on board. It was looking like a good lap, so hopefully he will be able to replicate that.
Oh, that's not happening based off of where he just was.
No. Call that a curse.
Wow, that is Mox. They are in the same chat. Based off of what I can see, they're both in the Discord, so I definitely will be interested to hear Neil's comments on that after. Let's see, can Henriksen get more of a gap? He can. Professor Chronotis needs to respond, or Joe Allenson even. Joe Allenson will respond. He'll get ahead of Professor Chronotis for P5. What can the Professor respond?
Whoops.
Kevin now puts himself in the top 4. Yeah, that's fine. I saw who went up. But Professor Chronotis has fallen from 3rd now 6th. He has to respond with this lap here, and if he doesn't respond with this lap, he does have one more, plus another based off of where his times are, where he does when he crosses the line. That Ferrari right now is only good enough for P5, just getting ahead of Joe Allenson. Is there maybe some unbound pace that Professor Chronotis has? Is he sandbagging?
It could be the fact that it is dark and not a lot of... just very difficult to practice unless the practice server is set to these night conditions. So Neil Kerbel on his last flying lap attempt. Can he find the 10th and a little bit he needs to get ahead of Sarah Liu on the front row? Otherwise, he's gonna have to do it during the race, as he did in Indianapolis last week. But Sarah Liu also on the track looking for improvements, as are the drivers behind. The top 5 still very much up in the dust and unsettled. Joe Allenson to the line, goes up to 4th. So it's an all BMW 2nd row and all Ferrari 3rd row. That is the qualifying session done for Joe Allenson as he returns back to the pits. Who else do we have here? Sam King to the line, improves a position up to 9th.
Okay, Zerline can't improve because he's in the pits, so we can't have an all-Ferrari 4th row either. Also because Reynolds is in the pits, so right now everything stands firm right now. Can Sarah in Korea? Nope, no she can't, not anymore, she can't. That was commentator's curse as if on cue, because there's no way she can improve that time.
She was very close though.
She was going to improve that time. Can Neil steal it away at the buzzer with 0.1 seconds on the clock? No, Neil cannot steal the time away. Sarah will have pole, followed by Kerbal. Can Kevin or Chronotis ruin the BMW 2nd row? Can Tony Gold, the heart of racing, Aston Martin, can he steal the Ferrari 3rd row away from us? Nope, not anymore. He's not. Can Kevin ruin the all-Ferrari 3rd row now? It's not stealing, it's ruining it if he somehow gets past Joe Allenson. All he needs is a 10th. Less than that. Can he find it? Holy jumping! He finds much more than that 10th. He finds all the way good enough to P3. Can Chronotis get an all-Ferrari 2nd row? He needs to find 4 tenths on this lap.
Oh, and that little bit of a wiggle on the exit might have cost him that few tenths he needs. He got an improvement.
Sorry, he does, as in what you said. He does cost himself. I know. It totally makes like, wait, what? What do you mean he does? What do you see that I don't? As I ruin everyone's brain cells for that. Are you sure you want my volume up? I don't think you do. I really don't think you do. I'm extra loud today. Mostly because my Leafs have just been absolutely dog crap.
All right, the grid is set. The race is about to get started. We will remind ourselves of the GT4 field here. Justin Beachley leads the way from pole position in the number 18 Beach GT AMG. Behind him, not Ilpo, it's Andres Mostachero in the 105 BMW. The North American Peruvian Sim team starts on the front row. Ilpo Rutsalainen starts from 3rd in the Creme de la Course 204 Camaro. Alongside him, Brian DeSantiago in 4th in the 777 NPG Racing BMW. Diego Mostachero behind him in 5th in the 44 Naps Team Aston Martin. The first Ginetta of 3 is Moriko Yatanashi in the number 53 Nine Tail Racing, starting from 6th. Then you've got Rally Dutchy in the sister Nine Tail Racing car, the 621, alongside Moriko. And Josh Ransom rounds out the 3 Ginettas in the TVR 325. Joe Chericola starts alongside him in the number 9 Billy Williams Racing AMG. Dr. Porkchop next alongside him in the 71 Chop Shop Racing Alpine. Paquet Kwan will be next in the number 10 Porsche. And Hezzy Thomas, being a good big brother, unable to get his lap in, but he will start on the grid here in the Dog Box Racing number 59 KTM. And over to Tyler for the GT3 field.
Sarah Liu takes the provisional pole away from my teammate. Sadly, my teammate could not respond. Hopefully he has a spin, but we'll get to him after. Sarah Liu will take P1. In P2 on the first row, side by side with Sarah, will be Neil Kerbal. In the SimSet Syndicate, an all Lexus front row. On 3rd on the grid, we have Kevin Yu, who ruined the Lexus BMW Ferrari rows. He will sit P3 after a very good lap time at the end. And then he has the BMW of Henriksen for company in the Race Forge Esports from Norway. Next up behind is Joe Allenson in a BMW. He's been in a Ferrari before, but he's in a BMW now. In that good Smile Racing BMW. He's going to have Professor Chronotis for company in, oh, whoa, Ferrari number 42. Next up in P7 is the Heart of Racing Aston Martin number 87 of Tony Gold. Next up with him is the 313 PJ Racing of Jim Reynolds. That completes the fourth row. Fifth row is the 999 of Sam King in the nifty Motorsports McLaren. Next up behind that is Devin Anthony in the News R Us Porsche. Looking to hopefully stay inside the top 10. Just outside, we have Brian Zerline kicking out the sixth row in his Ferrari number 25. And then we have the beautiful 145 Nissan of Mach Speed with his speed car. And then you have behind him Ian Craig in the Wicked Cat GT 787 Mustang. And that rounds out the GT3 grid. I thought Beachley was in the GT3 there for a minute.
He is not. He's the GT4 pole sitter. Andres behind him. He knows how to finish on a podium. Ilpo knows how to win a race. Will he be aggressive at the start and try and get past early to fight with Beachley at the front? Does Andres have the pace to fight with Beachley himself? He just might. His lap in qualifying was pretty good.
All right, for the people in the chat, mostly because it's Xander right now, and that's really it, because he's the only one that can respond. Everyone else is driving. You want GT3 or GT4 predictions, Xander? I'll only do one. It's your choice. I'll only do one class prediction. I'm interested to see what he picks.
Me too.
They're gonna start Zipper soon.
That's the lead car. This is the tail car of the field. Just getting into the zipper formation here.
GT4s, okay.
Make it quick.
The Santiago's going to lead the race at some point. Rally Dutchy's going to find himself in the top 3 at some point. And Ilpo's going to win the race. Those are your 3 predictions. So Santiago will lead, Dutchy will find himself in the top 3, and then Ilpo's gonna win. I'll leave it to Kuja for the start.
Happening any moment here. Zipper formation, GT3s, GT4s to the line. A short run into turn 1. Sarah Liu gets a really good jump already. And behind, Kevin Yu has the inside compared to the BMWs. And further back, they were a little bit side by side, but all looking good for the time being. Chronotis a little bit deep. Might allow Tony Gold to swing through. Kevin Yu gets ahead of Neil Kerbel for second place in the number 95 Ferrari. Tony Gold gets up to 6th ahead of Professor Chronotis. Great move by the Aston Martin. Let's take a look at the GT4 field. It looks like an unfortunate getaway for Justin Beachley as Andres Mostachero is leading the way. Ilpo behind him and Dr. Porkchop in 3rd place with a fantastic start in the Alpine.
Dutchy's 3rd. I did say no. Dutchy isn't 3rd. That's
He's in
Porkchop.
4th.
No, Dutchy needs to pass Porkchop here for my prediction to be correct. Oh, De Santiago has fallen all the way back too. So I guess I'm. Oh, that's a car in the grass. That is the 787 of Craig in the Mustang. He's gonna have to wait for almost all those GT4s to come flying back. The GT3s otherwise, besides Kevin getting ahead of Kerbel, are pretty good as it stands right now. Oh, never mind. That's Chronotis going off.
He's going off a little bit, but he does get ahead of Tony Gold here.
Oh, coming in the inside. Oh, he just slips in though. He doesn't get past Tony though. They go side by side here. Oh my God, it's almost a 3. Who is that? The 313. That's Jim Reynolds. Jim Reynolds, Devin Anthony gonna go side by side here. I don't know if you can go side by side through this section, but it looks like Devin Anthony's gonna hold off for right now. Jim Reynolds has to be careful. Sam King is waiting in the wings.
Up ahead, the battle for second and third. Kevin Yu off in the gravel on the corner exit. Easy position gained for Neil Kerbel. Will he be able to hold off the BMW that's charging behind as well? It looks like he will into the braking zone. But right as we tuned in, Kevin Yu hopping over the curbs a little heavily in the Ferrari and just unsettling it, having to take to the gravel, and gives that position to Neil Kerbel.
That's a little bit. Right as the cameras picked up to it too. That's kind of unfortunate for him. Diego desperately trying to hold on here. He's got so much company around him. He's got Karen, he's got Saracola, he's got Yatanashi, he's got Dutchy, he's got so many people around him right now.
Yeah, and Zolder's such a narrow track. It is so hard to go side by side, and I think there might have been a slight tap from Mostachero onto Rally Dutchy, as Diego just cannot fight his way past Rally Dutchy. He is defending very well, and the Ginetta disappearing there from the cameras. I'm not sure what happened there.
Around the outside? Oh my gosh, who was that? That was Mirko. What a move! What a move done there by Mirko. Around the outside of, I do believe, the Mercedes of Jericola. What a brilliant move that was into the final hairpin. Now the problem for both of them is the pole sitter Justin Beachley behind wants those places back, and he wants them back now. All contacts made, saved by Yatanashi. Beachley's gonna get ahead of Jericola, the number 9 Mercedes. Beachley's gonna have the run down on Mirko. That's gonna be very interesting going into the chicane. Gonna go side by side. Beachley might dive up the inside here, Mirko. Beachley will. And through goes Yatanashi. That's gonna allow Jericola to maybe slip up the inside. But alas, he's not going to. He's gonna save himself for another chance. Oh my.
And in the background here, you can see the 777 of Brian DeSantiago getting close, but there is a significant amount of damage to the front of that BMW. I am surprised to see that he is still carrying along, but there is that mandatory pit stop, so he is perhaps just waiting for the right moment to come into the pit lane.
Where did Dutchy go? Is he in the pits? We lose Dutchy?
Yes.
I don't see him on the... Oh, rest in peace, my prediction. I've cursed him. I was about to say, he was behind Porkchop.
He was, yeah, and then right as we were tuned in with that battle, it seemed like he just vanished. As Justin Beachley is trying to get past Morico and just cannot do it, just trying to stick a nose in wherever he can and force Morico offline. Just like that, Morico goes deep at turn 2, and the inside opens up for the AMG, and he has that position before turn 4, and ahead now is Justin Beachley. Has about 3.5 to 4 seconds to gain before he is on the tail of those two up ahead, the Alpine of Porkchop and the Aston Martin of Diego Mostachero. Brian DeSantiago in that injured BMW, able to get through Joe Jericola. So now he will try to catch up to Morico Yatanashi and get that position away from the Ginetta.
Definitely plenty of moves to be made. Oh my God, that you weren't kidding when you said that front end of that BMW is in pain.
Yes.
that is some heavy damage. Can I point something out? We haven't really looked at the GT3 field. There you go. Kerbel's now in 6th. And being overtaken possibly by Tony Gold here on the inside. No, he thought about it though.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there was any contact because the car itself seems pretty intact. So it might have just been a case of taking a curb slightly the wrong way, as Chronotis does a little bit there, as Neil Kerbel slips on through an easy position gain. Back into the top 5 goes the 2nd place qualifying Lexus.
Poor Sarah ahead of Kevin. Oh my Sarah's 5 seconds away from Kevin. That is a sizable gap. Devin Anthony is going to go try the inside here of Tony Gold. If he breaks late enough, he might be able to get it. It's just about who gets a better exit. Tony Gold's going to get the better exit, though. So he's going to save off Devin Anthony for now. But with Zolder especially, thank you, Turn 9 camera. With Zolder especially, those inside curves can be pretty bad. And as you can tell from Professor, I think he was just carrying too much speed there.
A little bit, yes.
Thank you, Will Buxton.
Correct. Well, this GT4 battle certainly picking up. Brian DeSantiago, despite that front-end damage, gets ahead of Chericola and Yatanashi. Yatanashi and the Ginetta, I think, just lost those 2 positions on the previous lap as we were watching that GT3 battle unfold. So Brian ahead of both the AMG and the Ginetta. Chericola also getting ahead of Yatanashi as these GT4s start their lap number 6 of the race.
Chericola went deep. Oh, what in the world is that? I just watched one GT3 become 3. Porkchop loses out to Beachley. This is now for the podium positions at least. Diego's gonna have to fend off the charging Beachley. However, if Beachley somehow does get past Diego, he's got 10 seconds to try and catch up to the 2 up in front. I will say, Andreas has done a very wonderful job holding off Ilpo right now, considering it's been 10 minutes and he's still holding the lead.
Oh yeah, 100%. Dr. Porkchop there, yeah, was riding in the podium positions, now dropping to 5th place behind Mostachero, who has that podium position. Justin Beachley in 4th, looking to take it right back, and some energy getting thrown to Dr. Porkchop here in the number 71 Alpine. With Brian DeSantiago charging hard behind him, he is going to need to defend to keep his top 5 position.
Where is Zolder? Is it Germany?
Belgium.
Oh, okay. So Spa and Zolder are in the same country? That's incredible.
Yep. For a while there.
Fernando speeding in the pit lane.
Yep.
Bing! Vroom indeed. Vroom indeed.
Where are you? Why aren't you on the grid, Mr. Cicerone?
I guess he must not like Zolder. I can't imagine doing this on a controller. especially the chicanes. That just looks like death.
Speaking of
controller, so what I find interesting about the KTM is that it actually has like a full round wheel. It's not the shifters. Like, it's not like the F1 wheels. He says arrived home, it's 3 a.m.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I can't argue with that.
Yep. Done. Brian's airline looking to get the move done down the inside of turn 1. The 2 Ferraris going side by side as Jim Reynolds runs deep into the gravel just a touch. Slowing him down allows Brian's airline to sweep through and take 9th place.
Those cameras, that camera illusion of just looking at Zerline coming in at a different angle just looks like he's trying to straight torpedo him. Straight into the side. As Andreas defends as much as he can within the limits.
Oh!
Looking for any sort of way around. He might have it here down the main straight. If this was the final lap, it'd be a drag race. Ilpo looks like he's gonna take the lead. Andreas fighting him as much as he can, giving him the space. They're side by side. Ilpo having the inside, Andreas having the outside. It might become crucial, especially here. They've still stayed side by side this entire sequence, from the start-finish straight all the way down. This might be where this battle ends.
Whoa!
Andreas spins out, but manages manages to keep straight, but Ilpo will take P1 in the GT4s. Finally. Holy jumping.
Yeah, side by side for the entire first sector.
Holy crap.
And unfortunately there for Andres, he had the inside for turn 1, but then he was forced on the outside for the next 3 corners and just could not fight it back, kicked a wheel into the gravel, and now we will see his attacking stills versus Ruotsalainen's defending as they head into turn number 9. For the first time, Ilpo Ruotsalainen having the lead, drifting through the corner. Andres Mostachero getting some style points there.
It's a little, oh. The 325 is spun out. Who's the 325? Oh, Josh Ransom. Okay. Sorry, I see yellow for 325 and I'm like, I wonder who that is. I wonder, does Andreas think about at least a fake? No, he's way too far back to think about a fake move. I think Ilpo's gonna run away with this now. By I mean run away, I mean like Andreas isn't gonna get close, but it is a brother podium though, as of right now.
It is. Justin Beachley is looking to spoil that party though. He's been behind the Aston Martin for a few laps now, just learning how Diego drives the track, perhaps just picking the right moment to attack and stick a nose. And there's Sarah Liu, the race leader of the GT3s, working her way through this battle up ahead. Right on board with Sarah as she's got a pretty good front row seat to what's going on. Goes down the inside, overlaps one car, but can't get Diego. Unfortunately for Beachley, that's going to cost him a little bit of time as Diego is just able to maintain his normal speed through that corner. And so Sarah Liu carrying on through the turn 7 chicane, leaving Diego Mostachero and Justin Beachley to continue their battle for the final step of the podium in the GT4s.
Yep. Sarah passes with ease, you know, GT3 on GT4 is expected. What is that I'm seeing behind? I think that's a Ferrari ahead of a whole bunch of GT4s. Oh no, that's just a Santiago about to overtake Porkchop here. Oh,
you thought about it.
You thought about it. You thought about it. You thought about it. With that I wonder how that BMW is helping him. Oh, that's Kerbal having to go through all the traffic known to human history. Kerbal's back a bit, even for being fourth. He's still nowhere close to fighting for this podium.
He's getting there. It was around 3.5 seconds last time we checked. It's down to 1.7. So about half of the gap that it was before. But of course, dealing with the GT4s on such a narrow track, it just kind of ebbs and flows. Some laps you gain, some laps you lose, as he now approaches Justin Beachley in his battle with Diego Mostachero.
What would you... Oh, this
Whoa!
That was tight. That was an unnecessary amount of tightness, to be honest. There, that was a little close. As Kevin has to hold back both Henriksen and Kerbal once Kerbal finds his way up here. The Ferrari having a little bit more nimbleness advantage over the big burly BMW. And the Lexus is kind of like the middle child in here. As Ilpo's gonna box a little early. Because the halfway point would be 25, so is he trying to do an undercut?
Well, perhaps he just is out of fuel and this is just down to his strategy. And so he will go to the pits as Yatanashi gets a stop-go for speeding in the pits. De Santiago sticking a nose up the inside of turn 1. Tony Gold also getting involved in this battle, but the GT3 not really involved on track as Yatanashi comes out of the pits just ahead of this battling duo between Porkchop and Brian De Santiago. No way by yet for the BMW.
just think maybe just looking so interesting. Every time it's in the straights, every time. Ooh, wait a minute, down Anthony's gonna. Yeah, DeSantiago has nowhere to go there with the Noobs R Us pretty much blocking the entirety of the entrance lane.
Yeah, it seemed like any time that DeSantiago's had a decent run on the Alpine, there's just been a GT3 going down the inside, so Brian can't really attack, and it is the same story here, as that is Sam King in the McLaren going through, Brian Zerline there in the red and yellow Ferrari trying to work his way through. As the McLaren gets ahead of the Alpine, the Ferrari gets ahead of the BMW, and there is Jim Reynolds joining the party in his GT3 Ferrari.
And you get a GT3, and you get a GT3, and you get a GT. I wonder how crazy DeSantiago's going right now, because every time he seemingly gets close to Pork Chop right now, and Pork Chop's in an Alpine, DeSantiago can get very close in the straights, considering it's an Alpine. But just every time he seemingly tried to overtake, there's either a GT3 or it's just an Alpine, so it's just stronger in the corners.
That just seems to be how it's going tonight for some of these battles here. Perhaps Ilpo just diving into the pits early to avoid all of this overlapping GT4 traffic, and maybe just getting himself in some clean air to run those laps quicker than Andres Mostachero will be able to. We'll certainly keep an eye on all of those lap times as the field continues their way through. 12 laps done by Sarah Liu. 11 by Andres Mostachero, the race leader. Brian DeSantiago goes deep at turn 5, costing him a lot of time to the battle with Dr. Porkchop ahead.
I'm starting to wonder now if that's the front end of his car starting to not give out per se, but not allowing him to brake where he wants. Zerline in a battle with a McLaren, Ferrari versus McLaren. You don't even get to see this in F1 anymore, as Beachley's kind of in the middle of this now as well. Oh, this would be the perfect time for Zerline to send it up the inside, and he's did, but a good job by the McLaren in front to kind of like give Zerline his space, but also defend at the same time. Zerline's thinking about it again. Nope, he's gonna back off. He's gonna see if that GT4 can interfere, and that GT4 does interfere. This allows Zerline to kind of take the position, but the McLaren is fighting back, and then you got a car behind as well. I'm pretty sure that's Jim Reynolds in another Ferrari also fighting. This is the view that he sees. Now it's unfortunate for Zerline because he gets in the way, and they're gonna make contact up ahead, and that is gonna be Jim Reynolds taking one position, can he take the other one? He doesn't make a move, but Sam King is the unfortunate. That's what happens, folks, when GT3s and GT4s are on the same track. You're gonna get what happens here. And unfortunately, Sam King was not the beneficiary of it, as Ilpo is just by himself.
He's across the line. The 105 just exited the pits, so Ilpo remains ahead of Mostachero for the race lead here. There's the two leaders out on track together after all the pit stops are all said and done. Sarah Liu and Ilpo Ruotsalainen. So the 105 just dropping a little bit back in the standings here. It looks like the gap will be right around 9 or so seconds. 7 seconds between Mostachero and Ruotsalainen. So perhaps, yeah, just a tactical move from Ilpo to go into the pits early and avoid all of this battling we're seeing here between the GT3s and the GT4s. Neil Kerbel now on the tail of the BMW. Professor Chronotis a lap down, not making his life easier by being nice and big in his rearview mirror.
Nope. And he went off track too, so it's not like that helps very much either. For kind of either driver. Can Kerbel get onto the podium positions now? That is the next question. Diego is now in the pits as well.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of the GT4 field already making their pit stops. Not a lot of GT3s, just Professor Chronotis that I'm seeing so far. Oh, and Mach Speed as well, looking to get the early pit stop done in the GTR, perhaps getting some positions and not getting himself involved in these battles here, as Neil Kerbel trying to go around the outside, the BMW of Mostachero helping the GT3 counterpart, and lets Henriksen maintain third position for now, but is the over-under on for Neil Kerbel. The inside opening up through turn 2, takes a good amount of curb, but the BMW has the space up ahead to take the normal racing line, dips a wheel just slightly into the gravel. Will that slow him down enough to allow Neil Kerbel to move into the braking zone? Not on this go-around. Oh, but they both go heavily over the curbs. Kerbel goes through, but he gets a drive-through for track limits.
Oh, no. I thought he stayed within track limits. I thought he just flew over them, though. Does your car leaving all four wheels off the track count as track limits if it's in the air? Isn't this like, I wonder if that counts. Like, can this be like the NFL if the ball crosses the plane?
Oh!
Never mind, that doesn't matter anymore because they make contact. Oh my God, the BMW has to avoid.
Andres Mostachero is just sliding all over the road in that 105 GT4. He is having himself a good day here, just sliding through the corners. He's in a podium position. He's happy. Neil Kerbel into the pits to start his drive-through.
Not happy. Guaranteed not happy. What in the world is this? We have GT3s versus GT4s. Jim Reynolds still trying to get past Brian Zerline, now with more GT4 assistance. Sam King stuck behind said GT4 assistance. Sam King probably hoping for some GT4 assistance there. Did not get it, considering he got screwed by it the last time around. Oh my goodness, what in... Oh no, it gets bad.
No! No!
No!
Oh.
From bad to worse for my teammate on Tuesdays, as he now gets a stop-go for speeding in the pit lane. Oh no, he's retired. Oh, he's retired. He's in the pits. I think that might be it for Neil Kerbel.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. That is really unfortunate. He was doing so. He had a good lap, and he's gone. That's unfortunate for Neil. I say I wanted him to spin jokingly, but that's not spinning. That's just sad. So Sarah Liu has this pretty much to herself. Unless, you know, a miracle occurs and she spins out, gets a drive-through, crashes. I will say, if Kerbel didn't get a drive-through, that would have been like the overtake of the year.
Yeah, for real.
He did it in the air. The curse of all curses. Yeah, that might be. Oh, and there goes.
Yeah, interesting stuff in this battle, I was going to say. Yeah, Zerline dives to the pits. Sam King got ahead of both Ferraris in that overlap. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Neil, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, Neil. I love you. Oh, man. Neil, I said I wanted you to spin. I didn't want you to say drive-through off of almost God tier overtake. Who did he just pass? Oh, he passed up Diego. Or was that Andreas? I can never remember. I think that might be Diego.
That was Diego in the Aston. Andres is in the BMW. He's putting in
sliding all over the...
Yeah, he is sliding all over the place. He's putting in some good laps, though. Getting a little bit closer to Ilpo. But Ilpo still having the outright pace in his GT4 Camaro to stay out in the overall lead of that category. So lots of cars coming into the pit stops. Gaps opening up here and there, closing here and there. Still have 4 drivers remaining to serve theirs. Kevin Yu in the pits and Joe Allenson joins him. So now that leaves Sam King and Jim Reynolds, the remaining GT3s yet to pit. Hezzy Thomas, the lone GT4, going long in his KTM.
We had Brian DeSantiago tow himself back to the pits because he was in the middle of the second chicane. You know what's weird? We just went to Imola, which has 3 chicanes, and now we're at Zolder, that also has 3 chicanes in a different country. Like, is this just the season of 3 chicanes? What's another place that has 3 chicanes?
Well, we were at Imola for the rookies. This is the Multiclass.
Yes,
so it's a
again,
different championship.
The premise still stands, though. Is this a battle for... Yes, it is. I thought this was GT4. I thought I was watching GT4 action. No, this is the heart of racing, trying to hold back Devin Anthony. I thought Imola was next week for the multi. I mean, it is, I think. It
is for the Multiclass, yes. He was referring to the Monday race for the rookies that happened at Imola this week.
Yeah, again, I'm kind of pissed off I wasn't heard. I have the reigning overtake of the year. And I'm so upset that that wasn't able to be heard.
It was not, but it was seen by all.
I was about to say I clipped it, so you can look at the clip on the Twitch as shown above. Hezzy Thomas is defending quite well here, but I don't think this defense is going to last very long. I stand corrected. Oh, that was no mean of me. I'm so sorry, Hezzy.
Hezzy also just on a different strategy there too, so he perhaps kind of knowingly getting out of the way of the two who've already completed their pit stops, but just going a little bit deep into the gravel there.
Could you? A little bit?
A little bit. He's back on track. He didn't lose that much time. It was about 5 or so seconds. Not terrible, all things considered. And there's the famous turn 9 Zolder camera coming into view. Devin Anthony all over the back of the Aston Martin for 7th place. It might even be more, as Sam King and Jim Reynolds are both in the pits. Those two were battling with Brian Zerline, so I think these two will come out ahead of those two who are resting in the pits. Hard defense from the Aston Martin. The Porsche can't find the grip around the outside. The engine just wanting to spin the car around. But good car control from Devin Anthony to keep it pointed in the right direction, and he's able to keep chasing the Aston for that crucial. It's now 6th place position. Make it 5th.
Apparently, according to the Santiago, car had too much damage, causing my wheel to be at a 45-degree angle for the entire race, and my car didn't like the chicanes and sent me into the wall. Truly, that start incident didn't help me. We didn't get to see it. We were too busy watching the GT3s.
Indeed, yeah, didn't quite catch what happened to the GT4s. And now after their pit stops, Jim Reynolds comes out ahead of Brian Zerline and Sam King. So before, the McLaren was riding up ahead of the 2 Ferraris, and all during the pit stop cycle here, Jim Reynolds able to get the position on both of them.
Zerline went in first, no?
Yes.
I'm surprised he's not one out here. Like, I'm surprised he's not ahead. Because normally the undercut at Zolder is actually pretty good. Are these two just destined to fight forever?
Yes. Still 18 minutes left. Anything can happen.
Where's that in their contract? Because I know for me, I'm always set to battle the mid-pack mafia whenever they're around me in the rookies. Especially at Imola. That's just destiny. The mid-pack mafia just gives me just straight scares. just like
they're too fast.
They're too fast. Just like I'd be terrified of Devin Anthony behind me if I was in this Aston. Mostly because 1, I'm on controller, and 2, Zolder is not my most favorited circuit. Where I got my first Pro-Am podium though, but it's still not my most favorite circuit, because again, it's like, which curb do you take the most out of? Curb 1 or curb 2? Because if you can somehow take curb 1, you don't necessarily have to take curb 2. And also this, I hate the chicane.
It's tricky. Yeah, it's super tricky. You just have to get the track limits like dialed in perfectly to really know where you can and can't push.
This is a good overtaking opportunity if you got the overlap. Just like Jim Reynolds is about. Just like, yep.
There we go. Wrong battle.
Devin Anthony. Oh, they are approaching GT4 traffic. This is where it's gonna get a spicy meatball. I hope no one gets the meatball flag though. Hezzy Thomas gotta know it's coming. He's getting the blue flags. He's getting out of the way. Can Devin Anthony get ahead of Hezzy Thomas though before turn 1, crucially? Hezzy Thomas being a very, that Porsche is spinning behind.
Nearly spinning.
It's definitely drifting. He is going to pass. Who is going to pass? Oh, I think he's talking about Devin Anthony getting past Hezzy. I'm pretty sure that Devin Anthony is going to be able to read the license plate of Tony Gold here for the next 20 years.
He can read the barcode on that bumper.
He's honestly close enough that the electronic scanner can probably register. The price is $3. Please proceed to the next window. And will that next window be in the top 5? Tony Gold making this Aston Martin the widest Aston Martin I've ever seen in my entire life. Oh my God, they get so close. They're within inches. He's gonna fight him for it. Let's see how close we can get here with this with the hood cam. The low hood cam too.
Splitter cam.
Oh, the splitter cam. How many cameras are on these cars?
So many. You've got the rear, you've got the front, you've got numerous onboards, as well as all of the in-game options too, from the rear chase and the hood cam.
I drive an Aston Martin, he is gonna overtake. I drive the Aston and I say no. That Aston can literally, if you play your cards well enough, that Aston can be the fattest thing alive. Like more fat than the people that like my 600-pound life. That's not an insult, that's just a term I'm using. T-Gold, I just like the Heart of Racing liver. I do as well. It reminds me so much of WEC and IMSA. Oh, Dr. Porkchop is going to be a wonderful gentleman and get out of the way of that battle. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate that. Professor Chronotis is a lap down, I think, still. Yes, he is. So he does have the pace, though. This could get interesting here.
Yeah, the pork chop is closing in on Chericola. That's that white AMG at the front of the shot there. So all of these GT3s need to get through both Moriko Yatanashi, who is unfortunately out of position due to a stop-go penalty received for speeding in the pit lane, but still showing the pace to keep up with the drivers as high as 5th place. Joe Chericola currently in 5th, Porkchop in 6th in the GT4s. And there is that Heart of Racing Aston Martin of Tony Gold going through, opening the gap just that little bit, and gives him some breathing room to Devin Anthony in the purple Porsche pushing behind.
I'm more interested to see what happens when Chronotis catches up to these two, because he does have the pace. You can unlap yourself if you're going to do it safely, but like, you almost don't, like for me at least in this case, if I'm Chronotis in this case, if I have pace, I have pace, but I almost don't want to get involved with this battle. I'm going to want to try and make it so that it's not as like hurtful to the other drivers, because you have to be very careful when unlapping yourself. where to almost pick your place or pick your poison, as you will. Zerline has been kind of just stuck behind Jim Reynolds, especially at this gap too. Like, he hasn't gotten close enough, he hasn't gotten farther away, he's just kind of stuck in middle land.
Yeah, just kind of maybe waiting for another opportunity here. Yeah, just after the pit stops, it doesn't look like Brian Zerline is quite as competitive as he was in the early stages, but the GT4 Alpine there perhaps slowing Jim Reynolds down a touch, allowing Zerline to close in. So which one of these two Ferraris will finish up ahead? This is the battle for 7th and 8th place.
Might have tapped the wall there, the Ferrari.
It was pretty close.
There's not much of a toe to get off an Alpine in the straight. I'm sorry, Zerline. There's not much there, buddy. I speak from experience. There's not much there. Kevin Anthony right back where he started.
Yep, the gap opened up, and now it's closed right back down with the Porsche right on the bumper of Tony Gold, looking to hang on to a top 5 position in the number 87 Aston Martin, ahead of the Noobs R Us Porsche, the 664. Devin Anthony pushing him the entirety of the lap here in the closing half of the race, pretty much, always pushing that Aston Martin and his own car almost to the limits. Is this the over-under opportunity? The Aston just parking itself so well on the apex to not allow the Porsche through.
Beautiful, beautiful blocking. I have never seen an Aston Martin be so, like, look at Devin Anthony. He's trying so much switchbacks. The over-under, you can name whatever move he wants to try to do. The heart of racing, Aston just will not give this up. Oh, he's gonna try and go for the switchback, but it's seen by the Aston and covered off. He is trying everything to get past this Aston, and just there is no space. Unless it happens right here. No, I called it for the wrong person though. What is Kronotis gonna do here? He's kind of in an awkward position here.
Yeah, I agree. It's a super awkward position for the yellow Ferrari to be in. Doesn't really want to get involved in the battle, because he himself can only close in on Mach Speed, who is a pretty good distance, about 20 seconds, 15 seconds now up the road, excuse me, from the Ferrari.
If he gets side by side, it's Jover. I would agree. Ooh, we have GT4s. Or a GT4. This could get interesting. They're approaching the braking zone. Ooh. No harm, no foul.
Well done to everybody involved there. Yeah, there was almost a bit of side-by-side contact between the two Aston Martins, and then on the corner exit, nearly a pit maneuver from the GT4 to the Porsche, but the distance is judged perfectly. Kronotis goes through as well, as he has a good front row seat to this battle for the top 5.
I almost want to see that from his splitter cam, what this looks like, or like from his hood cam or something. It's like, he's probably got the best view of the house out of anything, yeah. Let's see what the passenger can look to see. That Aston is just parking it in the middle of the track. Oh. Racing incident. I don't think that's how Gold or Anthony would see it as that, if either one of them were to get involved. The next GT3 up ahead is Beachley.
Whoa, the Porsche nearly goes into the wall on the exit, but able to avoid it. The 53 gets a drive-through. That's Moriko Yatanashi with another penalty.
Now, Kronotis has to do his best now to clear this Aston with, like, pretty good pace, just to not, like, kind of interfere with this battle too much. He might just keep Devin Anthony, like, almost towed in behind him. He, like, might be just towing Devin Anthony closer.
Well, he can tow him closer all he wants, but that won't let him go side by side with Tony Gold. He needs that track position right behind the Aston to try and work his way through. Professor Chronotis is gonna try and do that here. He's trying to have a look down the inside and unlapping himself. There is Justin Beachley in the AMG GT4. He is back up to a podium position. And here we go, 3 GT3s, Chronotis a little out of position, looking to get clear air out in front as these two go past Justin Beachley. Same with Devin Anthony, or will he just tuck back? Chronotis goes to the inside contact between Tony Gold. Justin Beachley still out ahead of Devin Anthony, so Chronotis gets ahead of Tony Gold for track position. And then you have Devin Anthony just now working his way through Justin Beachley.
I'm thankfully that Chronotis' move didn't result in any change in position, mostly because Devin Anthony got blocked by a GT4 behind. I will say this, Tony Gold and Anthony's battling. The Ferraris are starting to come into frame here. Their battling is slowly but surely bringing Jim Reynolds and Zerline into it.
Yeah, there they are in the back of shot.
There is 6 minutes left, so it could be cut really close here, especially if they battle side by side long enough. Honestly, I understand that Tony Gold isn't in a podium position, but like, I almost want him in here to know how much he's sweating.
Yeah, for real.
Oh my God, has he peed? Tony Gold reacted how I would react. It was like, oh dear. Like, look at the blocking by this Aston. It's just so freaking perfect.
Yeah, the Heart of Racing Aston doing a great job, but now comes a crucial part, clearing some GT4s. That is Pak K Kwan in the number 10 Porsche, getting out of the way there of the Aston. Now the two Porsches in different classes going side by side, and Tony Gold stays out ahead. A dip of a wheel into the grass zone, the braking zone, the ABS able to control that well. Sarah Liu out in the lead by about 20 seconds, and then Kevin Yu has about 20 seconds to Henriksen, who's got about 15 seconds to P4 Joe Allenson, who's got about 15 seconds to P5 Tony Gold. But then there's pretty much absolutely nothing separating Tony Gold from Devin Anthony, and there you have those two Ferraris are absolutely closing the gap from 4 seconds to 2.5 in just one lap.
Something tells me we're gonna have a little bit of spice here to end the stream. Especially since the good news is they've gotten through the bulk of the GT traffic. Sarah Liu is actually not far behind them. Like, she's on the other side of this, like, circle foot thing. Honestly, this looks like a prosthetic leg.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh, a big cut from Tony Gold, but I think he slowed down enough to avoid a track limit, or he's got some to spare here, but that still cost him the crucial lap time he needed to stay ahead of Devin Anthony comfortably. So that 1.2 second gap shrunk right down to 0.2 of a second. And this has been one of the better looks that Devin Anthony has had into this corner, the heavy braking zone. But under acceleration, the Aston Martin is able to get the power down much more effectively and keep the speed going. But with time running out, is this time for a late last minute send from the Porsche on the Aston Martin with just a few laps remaining.
Ladies and gentlemen, here come the Ferrari. They're right behind. However, Tony Gold still defending from Devin Anthony. He's gonna take the inside. He's gonna cut. He's gonna make this sharp corner as much as he can. That's gonna allow Devin Anthony the speed to hold on. But holy Ferrari. Jim Reynolds is in this fight now. Brian Zerline just a little bit too far behind, but Jim Reynolds is looking at this like, oh my, the rear, everyone's tires are dead. It's Zolder. Look at this Aston. This Aston is going to have the mightiest challenge. Now, not only does he have to defend a Porsche, he has to defend from 2 Ferraris.
Yeah, it's absolutely critical here. If you're gonna lose a place, you may as well just lose one. You don't really want to go off track and lose place to all the peloton staggered behind here. Devin Anthony can't find his way past the Aston Martin. The 2 Ferraris joining the mix. Brian Zerline was ahead of Jim Reynolds before the pit stops, and he is now behind. A little bit of contact. Tony Gold to Devin Anthony. Jim Reynolds is side by side with the Porsche, looking to go to the inside of turn number 11, but he's just not inside enough, but he slots ahead of the Porsche.
Oh my goodness. Oh, there's Ilpo ahead. Oh God, there's a GT4. They're so close. Here comes Tony Gold. The Ilpo goes, nah, I don't want this, and goes out of the way. Tony Gold now has to defend not from Devin Anthony, but from Jim Reynolds. Now Anthony has to defend from Zerline. This is just insane. There's 4 cars not even separated by a second.
It is nose to tail. Oh, Jim Reynolds heavily over the curbs. Will that allow Devin Anthony a look on the inside of turn number 7?
No, he does not go for that.
Oh, it was so close there.
Look at that, the finale is true. There's one more lap of this to go, folks. Stay in your seats, buckle up. I have a feeling we're gonna get some controversy here at the end. The Aston just straight up.
Oh, and once again! Oh no!
No, Tony Gold. Oh, I called that perfectly. As if on cue. Devin Anthony has won, but at what cost? Not like this, Kuja, not like this.
Yeah, certainly not how we wanted to see it. As Sarah Liu will just wait here, it looks like, to take the checkered flag.
She can't wait there.
She's got such a gap. She can wait, and she takes the checkered flag and takes win number 3 of 4 in the season. Kevin Yu next across the line in 2nd place. Congrats to Kevin, back on the podium here. Well done to you, my friend. Let's get back to this battle here. Brian Zerline trying to get ahead of Devin Anthony.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
It's not the same, but we'll have to make do. As Justin Beachley goes across the line, he takes 3rd place after an up and down event from him in the AMG. Diego Mostachero in 4th in the number 44. Hezzy Thomas takes the checkered flag, as does Kwan in the number 10 Porsche. Henriksen rounds out the podium of the GT3s. Allison across the line in 4th. Who will be in 5th? Will it be the Porsche of Devin Anthony, or can Zerline fight his way through? He's a little bit too far back to do it in the braking zone. Might have to just spook the Porsche, but Devin Anthony is unspookable, and he takes P5 after that hard-fought battle with the 2 Ferraris and Tony Gold in the Aston Martin. Zerline across the line 6th, Jim Reynolds 7th.
Tony Gold, unfortunately, is going to finish 7th.
And there's the race winner of the GT4. Sorry to interrupt you there. Ilpo Ruotsalainen gets the pit stop overtake done on Andres Mostachero, who finishes out the race in 2nd place. And that's round 4.
Oh, that is unfortunate, because that is that could have been the battle of the year, and it happened once with Devin Anthony and Tony Gold. We watched it, and then the next lap again. I feel so bad for Tony. Devin Anthony overtook them all, yeah, but at what cost?
Green light. Go, go, go.
That's the question now. At what cost?
At what cost? That is the real question.
Like, for me, that's tough, because like I'm always about fighting on track and overtaking on track, and if there's an advantage that comes of it, of a driver spinning, then so be it. But that's nothing Tony Gold can do there. Like, it's just unfortunate. But that battle all the way up to it was just gold. Was just Tony Gold.
It was just gold.
It was gold. Literally gold and nothing else.
Yeah, it was a very good battle, and it was just so hard to tell what happened there, whether Jim Reynolds was bumped into the back of Tony Gold. There was just so many cars there and piled into that corner, just absolutely impossible to tell. As always, the podium sitters are welcome to join us in the green room for a quick chat of how your guys' race went. And if not, no worries.
Tony Gold just added Jim Reynolds in the Discord and said thanks. I shouldn't laugh, but that's actually funny. Oh man, that battle is going to be battle of the year so far for the multiclass that I've seen.
Oh yeah, 100% so far. That has been a great 4-car battle. At the end of the race, too, you called it there perfectly. The two Ferraris came right into play with the Aston and the Porsche battling and slowing each other down throughout the lap there.
It's almost like the Ferrari got like a little bit better acceleration and just set. Where is the green room? It is above you'll see it in kind of above the general voice chats.
So if you don't see it easily, you have to go into the permissions and then allow yourself to see the channel and then join it. And yeah, but also like, yeah, I think Tyler was going to say, if you want to join Eau Rouge and Chill, we can drag you on in here as well. There it is.
There he is. I got him. Meow. Hendrickson, hello.
Hello, hello.
Were you bored?
No. I mean, podium finishes in the green room, right?
Yep.
That's right. Yeah. You're in the right place, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, you're in the right place. It was just, it just seemed like the gaps kind of opened up there after the pit stops. Just a bit of a lonely time out there. How was it? Just kind of securing that podium and seeing it out to the end.
Yeah, I was just driving very safely at the end after the pit stop because I saw I was faster than the car in P4, but I was not catching P2. Those guys are pretty fast, those top two guys there. So, yeah, I just did everything safe, secured the podium, and enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Was this your first one in the multi-class? I don't think so, is it?
This is my first season and first podium in Trackilicious.
Oh, let's go!
Yay!
Congrats, my man!
Thank you.
Do you know what happened to Kerbal?
Yeah.
He's in the purple. He's in the other Lexus.
Yeah, I remember that. I would say that's on me. I mean, we were pretty close to each other into the braking zone in the last sector, and I gave him a small tap on the rear end.
We wondered how he got
basically
there. We wondered how he got there, because I didn't see anything like remotely like big yellow flag, and he didn't fall very far. He went from 2nd to 6th.
Yeah, and I also I didn't know he was gonna go into the pits, so I gave him the position back, just to like show him that was on me, and I also flashed him just to apologize because that was on me, but it was the smallest tap. Yeah, it wasn't the big one.
What can we look forward to for next week at Imola?
You can see quite a lot actually. Imola is a very strong track for me. I have high hopes for the Imola track. I'm pretty good, so I should be able to possibly do a podium.
Potentially.
Heck yeah, that's awesome to hear. Yeah, halfway through the season, and how's it been so far? What are you looking forward to?
It's been great. Great guys, great competition, great people to race against. I've talked to some of them, and as of so far, I'm enjoying it. It's pretty
Heck yeah,
fun. I
man.
will do more of this for sure.
Awesome. That's very good to hear. Yeah, always happy to have new people join. Yeah, like you said, first season, able to get on the podium. That's awesome with, yeah, the level of competition we have here, especially in the multi-class. It just seems like the bar just gets raised every single season.
Yes.
Yeah, congrats on that podium finish. We'll move you back to the green room here and bring in the lone GT4 podium sitter, Andres Mostachero. Welcome to the stream.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, can't complain. That was pretty action-packed. It seemed like it was like it for your end at the beginning, and then it kind of, after the pit stop, just kind of had to fight for the time back there.
Yeah, I really tried to push on the laps that I had free. There was no traffic on, and I thought I was looking at my times, and I was like, okay, 0.4 faster, 0.4 faster per lap. I was like, oh, maybe there'll be like an incident and I can get lucky, but it was just so much chaos that it was hard to maintain a good lap time. But it's pretty fun, really fun. This track is a surprise.
Yeah, each corner always comes as a surprise as to which way those curbs are going to throw you to.
Exactly. But honestly, I was pretty happy with the GT3 traffic coming through. Like, they were pretty respectful, and I always tried to maintain my line there. But yeah, it was a lot of good fun.
Yeah, we were able to tune in right as you two were right in the battle during the overtake. Talk us through what it's like defending around Zolder.
Okay, especially against Ilpo, it's extremely tough. And the thing is, like, he knows how to position his car so that you feel pressure to defend. And maybe I shouldn't have defended. I keep going, and then you get caught in this, like, should I defend the line or not? Like, his car's pretty quick off the line, but mine's pretty quick on the straight. And then I was going through these scenarios in my head, and sometimes that kind of messes your flow. And so there was one corner where I think I got a horrible exit, and then he was able to just get a great exit. But I tried to defend a few corners there to the best of my abilities. But he's Ilpo's amazing. He's a good driver.
Yeah, it was just super fun to watch, especially just how long you two were side by side. It seemed like the entire first sector.
That whole first that fast left corner into the two rights that are also pretty fast, and then we're going side by side. And the thing is that we're both really respectful. So I mean, it's always when you have somebody that you can race with like that, and that is going to give you the space and not going to just push you off or something. That just makes it so much more fun. So even though I lost my position and I lost it fair and square, like, it's just me trying to, like, oh, he got me, and then I want to pit, and then I want to get him back. but you try your best. But it was good fun.
That's just how it goes sometimes. And you showed that you have some absolutely great pace today. So well-earned podium.
Thank you very much.
Tyler, anything from you?
Nope, I'm all good on that front.
Perfect. Thanks, Andres. Thanks for joining us. Congrats on the podium. Go ahead and get yourself some celebrations going.
Thanks so much. Woo, let's go.
Hell yeah, man. Good luck in the remaining half of the season. Imola next week, as Tyler and me were saying. We saw some great racing from the rookies on Monday there a few days ago, and certainly looking forward to what the multi-class can do in that race and the last half of the season. So that'll bring us to the end of round 4 here at Zolder. We'll take it over to Tyler real quick for his closing thoughts.
Definitely some exciting battles on the track, as you said, with Andreas and Ilpo. Then you had that kind of two-way into now a four-way fight that resulted in absolute disaster, which is unfortunate. But it was definitely a battle through and through all the way. And Imola, from what I saw, at least in the rookies, proves so much good fighting. Just perfect amount of fighting. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how they do.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Super excited. All the battles throughout the race. It has been absolutely fun. The 2 leaders in the GT4s from the start. And yeah, just so much to talk about, but unfortunately that's the end of round number 4. If you want to see yourself on the grid, get yourself signed up at SimGrid, !SimGrid, for a link to get you there for this and any of the other championships, whether it be LMU on Tuesdays and Fridays or iRacing on Thursdays. That's the place to go. Discord is the place with all of the latest news and updates. Check the Trackilicious website for any sort of in real life track events and a link to hats and t-shirts and stickers and other good stuff like that. Holiday season's right around the corner, perfect for any sort of car lover. I've been Kuja Terekov, Tyler Morgan alongside me, bringing you the action from the Multiclass Wednesday Championship here at Trackilicious. Thank you all for joining us. Stick around for the raid of Mr. B. Roy, doing some oval racing in iRacing. Spread the love from one sim racing community to another. Thank you all for joining us. Have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you may be watching us from around the world. We will catch you all next time.